Hey guys, welcome back. Hopefully everyone's having a great day today. Now today we're taking a look at 7 PlayStation VR games that have come out for the year of 2020 that you guys should definitely be checking out. These, in my opinion, are the 7 best PlayStation VR games that have launched this year. I know this year's been a pretty quiet year for PSVR, but there have been some pretty awesome games launched that have kind of gone under the radar a little bit. So today, I want to highlight them. We're going to take a look at the games. We're going to take a look at their trophies. I'm going to tell you why they're awesome. Let's dive in and take a look at them all.
Yeah, and hold my heart when you walk out the door.
Before we kick off, as always, if I could ask you guys, if you're a new viewer of the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I make videos like this every single day on the channel, looking at new games and PlayStation content, as well as trophies and trophy hunting content. So hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date. Also stream over on Twitch 3 times a week now, so if you want to go and follow me over there, that would also be greatly appreciated. Alright, so the first game on the list today is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Now this is a game that came out last year on PC, or I guess actually earlier this year on PC, and then kind of partway through this year on PSVR. It's a weird one because a game with a licensed property like this shouldn't be as good as this game is, but this game is awesome. This is easily one of the best first-person shooting games on PSVR. It's probably the best zombie shooting game on PSVR. Not only does it look good, the story is good, the gameplay is deep as well, the environments are detailed and deep, and not all games get those things right. There's a lot of them that get some of the stuff right, but not everything. But this one here really does tick a lot of the boxes when it comes to a really high quality PlayStation VR title. The game does a lot of what other zombie games do in this genre. It plays with the whole melee combat, stealth mechanics, scavenging, obviously your guns and your ranged combat and things like that. It's got horror elements to it there as well. And the game is just a really neat mashup of all of these things. I think the thing that baffled me the most about it is just how high quality it is. It has like a proper narrative arc to it as well, and it just looks so much far beyond and above what other PlayStation VR games that are coming out at the moment look like. And I guess that's just what really impressed me with this game. So I would say this is probably my favorite PlayStation VR game that is launched in 2020. And this is coming from someone who's not a massive Walking Dead fan or zombie fan either. So I guess that's saying something to you guys as well. I do really genuinely believe you're going to go out and enjoy this one. In terms of trophies, it's actually not that bad either. This game's going to take you around 20 or so hours to complete. So there's actually a ton of content in this game for you to play. And it's only about a 3 or a 4 out of 10 in terms of overall difficulty. There's no online trophies or anything weird like that. You can play the whole thing offline. It's a narrative-based game, but yeah, it's definitely worth checking out, in my opinion. Next up, we have the pretty bombastic VR game Gone. This is essentially a hack and slash arena combat game, but it's just so silly and cartoony and over the top and crazy. It's a really, really funny one. You would have seen people streaming this on Oculus and their PCs maybe a year or so ago, and it got a lot of traction on YouTube then. The game is just a ton of fun. It's really, really silly and just plays really well. I guess the tactical nature of how you swing the weapons and stuff like that is kind of what makes it so fun to play. But then the overall design being so cartoony and the whole way it's like pieced together is probably what keeps this game interesting, so you keep coming back for more. It's published by Devolver Digital, and they kind of have a bit of a reputation for doing things like this. So I guess that's what makes sense. In terms of trophies, sadly, this is another one of the VR games that doesn't have a platinum trophy next to it. But in terms of completing this thing, look, it's going to take you around 15 or 20 hours to complete it. There are a couple of trophies for finishing the game flawlessly, which do make things a lot harder, probably pushing the difficulty up to about a 6 or a 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. But given there's no platinum trophy in this one, I just recommend playing the game and enjoying it, having a great time with it, and experiencing the silliness that Gone has to offer. Party Pumper is another great VR game that came out this year, and the thing I like about this one is this is a game that just wouldn't work if it wasn't in VR. You're essentially a DJ at a dance club, and you're mixing different effects, and you're basically, yeah, you're being a DJ with these different shapes. The way it works is that you have this kind of mix board that's unique to the game. You place the different shapes on the different spots, and you can kind of mix things in different ways to create different effects and things like that. It's pretty cool. You get a whole bunch of different modifiers and things like that, and you can kind of just stand there and dance. You can vibe to the beat, move your hands around, and it just feels cool. It honestly feels like you're in a dance club, and again, it's just something that is unique to VR, and I guess those are the kind of VR experiences that I love the most. Now, sadly, however, there is no platinum trophy for this game either, which is very unfortunate. It's always a shame seeing all these VR games coming out with a kind of missed potential not having plats next to them. In terms of trophies, look, no one's actually got some of the trophies in this game for vibing 100%. And my guess is that it's probably a little bit of a challenging thing to do. So I'm not really sure what kind of score to give this. I'm going to avoid giving it a score and a time to get the 100% in it, just because I don't know what's required, whether or not there are some glitched things in here that can't be obtained. And I don't want to mislead anybody with this list either. But I would recommend just checking this game out for the gameplay alone and just having a great time with it, because it is a ton of fun, and I guarantee you're going to enjoy it. Next up, we have probably the most famous VR game that came out this year, Iron Man VR. This is a interesting one because it reviewed pretty well when it came out, but then it kind of disappeared and no one was really talking about this game. It plays pretty well. If you're wanting to feel like Iron Man, then this is literally the only game that exists that allows you to do that. You fly using the move controllers as Iron Man's repulsors. You fire with his hands like they're his repulsors, and his unibeam and things like that. And the game just plays and feels very, very good. The challenge with this one is that the control scheme is janky in terms of it being a completely new and unique control scheme for this specific game, which means that you pretty much have to rewire your brain about how you play games when you start playing this one, which unfortunately makes things a little bit challenging. In terms of trophies as well, they did add a couple of annoying trophies into this game, which have pushed the difficulty up. Works out to be about a 7 out of 10 in terms of difficulty, so it is quite overwhelmingly difficult. I did make a full trophy guide and roadmap for this game over on the channel as well, so you can go and check that out if you're wanting more information about the trophies on this one. Shadow Legend VR is as close as we've gotten to, I guess, a full RPG in VR. I mean, if you don't count Skyrim VR, of course. This game has everything. It's got swordplay, it's got archery, it's got crafting, it's got cooking, it's got smithing. It does all of the stuff that you're going to want out of an RPG, but more light. The game itself runs very well on VR, and it looks very good on VR as well. It's always interesting when a game like this just comes out of absolutely nowhere and you're not expecting it, and it's still just great. Like, these kind of games obviously have a ton of love and dedication put into them, and a ton of effort to produce something like this, and you generally get no publicity for it, and it's a real shame that they kind of go under the radar a little bit. But this game here is a really, really neat fantasy RPG in VR. In terms of platinum as well, it's actually a pretty straightforward platinum. It's not a very difficult one at all. It's about a 2 out of 10 in terms of difficulty, and it's probably going to take you around 6 hours to get the platinum in this one. The room is basically an escape room in VR. This is kind of, if you ever remember the Crimson Room, those old web browser based games, this kind of evokes a lot of the feelings that game gave me, where you're essentially trying to solve a mystery in this room and get out. It's got some spooky, I guess not spooky supernatural elements to it, but it's got some mystery and suspense elements to it as well. It's a really neat escape room style game. I really wish there were more of these kind of games in VR. Unfortunately, there's not, and it's a real shame. There would be. I think it's a genre that works well. You know, interactive puzzle solving and this sort of like tactical sensation of picking things up and moving things around to solve puzzles works very well in VR, and it does surprise me we haven't seen more games like this on the platform. The game itself is really fun. I do really recommend checking this one out. The trophy list is very, very lackluster though. We only have 6 trophies, 2 golds and 4 silvers. No platinum trophy in this one either, which is a real shame. I just wish that they'd done that. The 100% in this game is very straightforward, though it's not going to take you that long at all. Probably around 3 or so hours to get all the trophies in this one, and it's about a 2 out of 10 again in terms of difficulty, so not very challenging. But a real shame that we don't have a platinum trophy in this game. And the final game today is Pixel Ripped VR. This is very meta, because you're playing as a character in VR who's then playing video games in the virtual world on his television or in an arcade, and it's cool. Like, you're playing a game within a game, basically. You're tactically controlling the guy holding the controller while he controls his in-game avatars as well. So you kind of end up playing multiple kind of genres, I suppose, like a first-person type thing, plus your, side-scrolling type adventures in there as well. This is actually a sequel to a game that came out last year, or the year before it might have been. There was another Pixel Ripped game, which was really cool. Fortunately, this time around, Pixel Ripped VR has a platinum trophy in it as well. Thank goodness. The trophy list in the game is a challenging one though. It's about an 8 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. There are some pretty randomized elements in here which are just going to make things challenging. You've also got some permadeath stuff in here too, which is probably going to take you somewhere in the realm of about 10 or so hours to get all the trophies in this one, so it is a slightly more time consuming one, but more VR content is always a good thing as well, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's great to see the devs actually put a platinum trophy in this one, especially because last time they didn't. This is I guess it's a sequel in a way, but it's not like a direct sequel to the previous one. You don't have to have played both of the games to be able to still get something really great out of this one. But there you have it, guys. That is our 7 VR games that have come out for the year of 2020. I know I changed outfits. I recorded this part after I recorded the other part. It's a whole thing. Those are the 7 best games that came out this year that I'd suggest you go and check out. My personal favorite on this list is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and I'm really excited for the new Walking Dead game that's just been revealed. Hopefully it's as good as that game, if not better. That would be a pretty amazing experience if it was. Let me know if you guys have played any of these games or you're planning on picking up any of these games. I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts on them as well down in the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you guys all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great night. Bye!